The SEDAT HR Conference 2026 is here. Western Region, are you ready? Join us on Thursday, 26th March 2026 at the prestigious Western Serena Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi for the 5th edition of the SEDAT HR Conference. This year's theme, authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. Hear from seasoned industry leaders including Felicia Opoku-Felicia, Head of HR and Administration, Taka Ghana, Kwame Afre, HR Manager, Talu Ghana Limited, and Mami Ekia Gazi, Managing Partner, 565 Consulting. Keynote address by the Western Regional Minister, Honorable Joseph Nelson, and our special guest of honor, Nana Kobena Nketia V, Oman Hinin of Esikado, Traditional Area and President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Are you a CEO, HR professional, business owner, marketing or branding executive, corporate communication executive, or corporate leader? Then this conference is for you. Registration is open. In-person participation, 1,550 Ghana cedis. Virtual participation, 1,250 Ghana cedis. To register, visit HR Conference at sedatconsultlimited.com or call 0591405555. Transform your workplace, strengthen your people strategy, and lead with impact. The SEDAT HR Conference 2026 is brought to you by Sedat Consult Limited in partnership with Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Good News FM, Cambridge College of Excellence, Revia, My Health Co, HR Network Africa, and SHRP. Limited seats are available. Register today. See you there. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching us. This is the SEDAT HR Digest brought to you by Sedat Consult Limited, your trusted HR partner. Once again, this is another insightful episode, and we are going to be having a conversation on balancing career and family without losing yourself as a professional. Right, from wherever you are watching us from, would want you to put it in the comment section. Let us know your name and where you are watching us from and what you are looking forward to in today's conversation. Once again, this is brought to you by Salad Consult Limited, your trusted HR partner, right? And make sure you share the link on your various platforms to ensure that others join us in the conversation. Welcome once again to the Sadat HR Digest, and we'll be diving right into the conversation shortly. Sadat Consult is still celebrating women all around the world, and hence we are having two amazing and inspiring women who will be joining us in today's conversation. And once again, they'll be speaking on balancing career and family without losing yourself as a professional. All right. Briefly, I'm going to let you know who our guests for today are. I'm sure you've gotten a glance at them by the flyer that has been shared around, but I'll briefly let you know who they are and what to expect from them today in today's conversation. Right. So today we'll be having Madam Joyce Achari. Okay, I see Georges joining from Accra. Georges, we are glad to have you join us today. All right. So I'm just going to briefly let you know who our guest speakers for today are, and then we'll dive right into the conversation. Right. So we are going to be having Madam Joyce Achari join us here. Joyce is a distinguished business leader and educational consultant with over 30 years of experience across Africa, the USA, and the UK. As executive director of Smartline Publishers Limited, she has dedicated her career to advancing literacy and education. She made history as the first regional consultant for Scholastic Incorporated in Western Africa, where she directs market strategy and business development across a 25 country territory. A passionate advocate for the next generation, Joyce connects educational institutions with world class resources and guides students toward academic opportunities through her consulting practice. Her leadership extends globally. Her leadership extends globally across multiple boards. She is the first African elected to the board of the International Association for College Admission Counseling in the USA. In Ghana, she serves on the executive committee and board of the Executive Women Network. Right, the board of Smartline Limited and the board of SOS Ghana, where she was recently elected vice chair of the SOS International General Assembly. These roles underscore her unwavering commitment to education and empowerment of youth and women. Right. And we are also going to have Madame Jessica Yamotele Tete. She is a dedicated human resource professional and an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management. She is passionate about continuous learning and intentionally embraces every opportunity as a chance to grow and expand her knowledge. She currently serves as the Human Resource Manager at the Sanctuary Schools, where she oversees a workforce of over 2,000 staff members. As a member of the school's top management team, Jessica works collaboratively with leadership through strategic decision making to advance the vision and long term goals of the institution. Jessica values meaningful relationships and is known for bringing positivity, warmth, and good energy into every environment she occupies. Her professional focus is centered on impacting lives through effective people management and contributing to the development of strong organizational structures that foster healthy and productive workplaces. She's committed to building environments where people thrive and organizations become employers of choice. Beyond her professional career, Jessica serves as a church administrator at Love Sanctuary International, where she supports ministry operations and contributes to the growth of the church community. On the home front, Jessica is a married and blessed with with a daughter, and she brings a relatable and practical perspective to conversations on balancing career, family, and personal growth. Her journey as a wife, mother, leader, and administrator makes her voice valuable in discussions on how women can pursue professional excellence while nurturing their homes and maintaining their personal values. Right. So, we are going to be having these two amazing women sharing insights with us as we have a conversation on balancing career and family without losing yourself as a professional. I see Mary Puni join us from Accra. Mary, we are so glad to have you. Right. So, we are having our guests join us right away and we are diving right into the conversation. Pastor, please, you can come. Yes. I'm glad to have you, Madam Joyce and Madam Jessica.
Hello, Supernatural.
Hi, Supernatural.
Right. Good afternoon. And our audience are so expectant, want to have so much insight from you as you share with us on balancing career and family without losing yourself as a professional. Right. Any thoughts what do you what are you looking at? What do you want to tell the audience? What should they expect from you today? Madam Jessica, Madam Joyce, what should they be expecting from you today as we dive into
Well,
the
we will
conversation?
be okay. So before we dive in, when you were reading my profile, you mentioned 2,000 stuff. It's actually 200, over
200.
200 stuff. Yeah, so let me make that correction.
All right.
And then, sorry, all right. I'm looking forward to sharing my experience basically on balancing professional requirements and then family life as well. I'm going to be as practical as possible. And I'm also looking forward to learning a lot from Joyce. When we had to talk before the program, we had to actually control ourselves and say, okay, let's get back to work. So I'm actually looking forward to the conversation. I think it's going to be a very wonderful time and a learning opportunity as well. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. How about you, Madam Joyce?
Yes, and I also had 2,000 stuff, and I was like, wow, Jessica can probably can probably run the presidency. But it's all good. I mean, um I'm interested in keeping it real. I'm not going to give you a textbook transcript of, how perfect life is. I'm happy to be a little vulnerable and share from my own personal experience so that the information is more relatable. And hopefully, people can walk away from the show having a good understanding of what my journey has been so that they can take some nuggets of wisdom out of that to apply to their own lives. And I'm also here to learn. I thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with Jessica because she's much younger, and young people have a thing about them. They have their own airs and views, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not that old, but like connecting with people that are older than you and younger than you is such a good thing. It keeps you alive and it keeps
Yeah,
you in tune with what is actually going on around the world. So
absolutely.
we're all yours.
Thank you. I'm honored. Right. I see John. John, we are glad to have you. Rita, we are glad to have you. Right. Who do I start with today? Okay, so I would love to hear from both of you with this. Could share briefly with us your leadership journey and how your career path started.
Okay,
I
maybe
think
I'll start.
Joyce, yes, please.
Unless you want to go, Jessica.
No, I think you should go. This is my second time here, so I think
I'm the newbie, right?
you're the newbie. So let's give you
Okay.
the platform.
Oh, okay. So I want to look at this from another slant, and the reason why I say that is I'm a firm believer in personal leadership. And personal leadership is when you understand who you are and you can lead yourself. I think that great leaders, first of all, must be able to take care of their own lives, both the ups and downs of it, before they begin to lead, other people or lead situations and, champion visions and missions. I'm a first daughter, and I'm coming out of a line of strong women. My grandma died at 106, and up until a few weeks before her death, she could make soup and whatever else she wanted to do. And she taught me a lot of things, and it passed this, some of her characteristics were passed on to my mom and myself and my sisters. And you know what a first daughter is. You become in charge of certain things, and you should be a good example for the others. So that's where I think my leadership started. And all throughout school, I was somebody who would raise up their hand and sit right in front of class. Sometimes they'll say you're too known, isn't that it? Yeah, but that didn't bother me too much. I like to speak my mind, and that's a form of leadership. And throughout school, I had leadership positions. I was one of the school prefects at my school a long time ago. It wasn't the JHS and SHS system. It was, the Ghana secondary school system. I went to Scripture Union very early, and I was the president of, Scripture Union. In university too, I had some, leadership opportunities as well. I remember we needed people to be a bridge between the authorities and, the food catering service. And, I was the one that was elected to do that. And going into, after school, I went to the UK to live for a little bit there. After working for a while, I got a supervisory position, and coming back into Ghana, it continued. I got into middle management, so obviously I was leading other people and so on and so forth. I've had a rather interesting leadership journey because I've led myself, supervised people, and worked at places where I was led and I also led. And now I run my own business and consultancy, and I lead staff. And, I'm one of the visionaries that champion what we are wanting to achieve. So in a nutshell, that's what I'll say. It starts with personal leadership. And then for me, it's about putting myself forward and making sure that my voice is heard, because I'm all for inclusion.
Right. Thank you, Madam Joyce. I think I said with you on starting from personal leadership. I think we're able to lead people better when we're able to lead ourselves first. Madam Jessica, would you want to say something briefly?
Yes. I think unlike Joyce, who is the first daughter, I happen to be the last daughter and the only girl. So it was more of contending with the boys in the family. Like I started building it from not allowing myself to be cheated in any way. So that is it. But then to cut a long story short, professionally, I started as loans marketing and administrative officer at Western Chamber Cooperative Credit Union, Intercredi. And when you even look at the title, it tells you that you are in charge of everything in the credit union. So from there, I got the opportunity to work at Spurgeon Training Institute. And then from there, I joined the Sanctuary Schools. At the Sanctuary Schools, I joined as a senior administrator. Then I had the opportunity to work as the human resource manager. The Sanctuary Schools actually has 4 preschools and then 1 primary JHS and lower secondary. So you end up, and we run a semi-autonomous system. So I'm sort of the HR manager, but I oversee all these other campuses. And basically with that, you are managing people, you are managing other heads and ensuring that the work is done. They are sort of representatives on the campuses and ensuring that the work is done, the people are taken care of, and everyone has their right hearing and all that. So that is basically it. To cut a long story short, yeah.
Right. Thank you, Madam Jessica. So back to Madam Joyce. At what time or at what point in your career or life did you realize that you had to balance, you had to be intentional about balancing your personal life and your professional life?
Yeah, I think I'll share a story with you to best illustrate, the first time it probably hit me really hard.
Right.
So just like my life's journey has been working outside of the country, coming back and working, in some place that I didn't own, right? I've worked in public places. I've worked at a school. I've worked with a telecommunications company locally, and now I run a publishing company and I do educational consulting and represent Scholastic, which is a US company. I this happened much earlier in my life. I was I worked at SOS College, a really really fine school. I actually left a corporate job to go and work there because the conditions were amazing and it was a really fantastic school. The very first IB school is a certain kind of curriculum. But anyway, I was at SOS College at the time, extremely busy. I had two positions. I was looking after, anything to do with library services and provision of textbooks, and also doing university placement for the students, where you look at the students' academic records and then you match them with universities abroad. And it was a very busy desk because it was like a two-in-one situation. And then I got a call one fine morning when my desk was full of all sorts that my mom wasn't feeling well. And my mom used to live in the Oda area. And they had taken her to the hospital, right? So that was a little restful for me. And then I checked up after a few hours and I found that even the lab test hadn't been done. And I was told that she was in a lot of pain. I mean, my desk was full, but it hit me like a brick to just take off and go. And if you know what the roads in Ghana are like, a 2-hour journey becomes 3 or 3.5. So I just called my husband, we hopped in a vehicle and we drove all the way to Oda. By the time we got to Oda, it was 7 o'clock at night. And there she was in great pain and she couldn't even talk. But we could see that she was in pain. There was this whole conversation about, okay, if you take the patient away, it's your responsibility because this was a sick person that was being looked after by the doctors. But my quick wit kicked in and I felt the need to know that we should, bring her back to Accra, where if she needs to see a specialist, she can do that. So we did just that. We got to Accra at 12 midnight. Can you imagine? And as we approached Accra, we were wondering, should we even take her? Because it was midnight. Anyway, we ended up at Smith Hospital and it turned out to be a really serious situation. And I know, and I can say for a fact, I don't know though, because we're all human, that if we had left her there, the most unpleasant thing would have happened. Mom lives with me now. She's 93 years old and I'm enjoying every bit of it. Right. So you see, it was that balance. Should I stick with work and do all the things that I need to do, or should I wait for other people to just take care of this? I did what I needed to do. And the miracle of this story is, so the next morning, because this was 12 midnight, right? Next morning, by the time we finished everything, it was dawn. The next morning, the doctors came to see her. The surgeon came, took one look at her and knew that she needed emergency surgery. She went into surgery, all right. And the next day, after everything was over, she was taken to recovery and everything. I went and then I wanted to say thank you to the doctor, and the doctor had gone on leave. And he was one of the finest that we had. Can you imagine? So things happen. I think it's just listening to yourself and understanding what your priorities are is important. And I hope that this story kind of explains what to do based on prescribed priorities. Because you do that first. When you do that first and things happen, then you know what decision you should take. I mean, recently, I have 3 grandchildren. Recently, I have one granddaughter, the love of our life. She is so amazing, Rena. And she got unwell, and it didn't take long for me to figure out that I do need to leave my desk, leave that report, and go with her mom so that she has some support to the hospital. I mean, she's out and about running around and happy, but I was comfortable that in that moment I was able to make, that decision again. It's never always about sickness, obviously, but
Right.
I've learned to kind of do that balancing act and make the right decision on the spur of the moment when it comes to that tug of war, if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, which way should I go? So I hope this story helps to explain my position.
Yeah, thank you so much. Madam Jessica, I'm sure you've also had times where it looked like you were being stretched in between family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did you go about handling situations like that? If you could even take us through one.
Okay. I think for me, like Joyce did, I would also share an experience. When I was taking my professional program, it was it was extremely stressful. It was extremely stressful because at a point my husband wasn't in the country. And I didn't grow up in Takrade here. I came here for work. So I don't have any family to help out with my daughter. And so what am I going to do? Now I'm having particular Saturdays where the entire day is taken. And then also I had particular days where we met for group studies. So all this time, who is going to take care of this little girl? And then you realize that in times like that, you really need to try to give each aspect your best. So I had to call a friend and tell her that, look, this is the fix I'm in. So I would actually need your help. So she goes, after she closes at 5, she goes to pick my daughter from school, takes her home, bathes her, feeds her, and helps her to do her homework. Like she does everything. And then after group studies around 9 p.m., I just have to go and pick her up, take her home, and also, and this is a lot. It's a lot on your plate because you are old, but you are learning. You are working 8 to 5. You are the same person who has to go do all the chores, go to the market. Like you are doing everything. It's either you or you. You get it. So those times were very, very, very difficult times, but I am grateful that I could fall on someone who was trustworthy to assist at the time. So that is my story, and how I got through it was because I asked for help, and
Right.
I had someone to help me. Yeah.
Amazing. You know the theme, one aspect of the theme for today's conversation is without losing yourself as a professional. Um, what does it actually look like for a professional to have lost themselves? Let's look at that first before we go further into the conversation. So, what does it look like for a woman to lose herself or a professional to lose themselves? Right. Let's look into that briefly. Madam Joyce, you could start with that.
Okay, I'll start, and next time Jessica will start, right?
You should definitely start.
I even wanted to start with something Joy said when she was introducing herself. She
Okay.
mentioned self leadership, like you need to lead yourself
Yeah,
before
personal
you can
leadership.
lead. Yes, personal leadership before you can lead others. And I wanted to tie into that just as you have to lead yourself with breaking down or losing yourself, you need to know who you are in the first place. There should be some form of
Right.
self awareness before you can actually match it against losing yourself. You get it? But let Joyce finish up her point then. I'll continue.
Yes, I mean you're spot on, Jessica. First, you need to know who you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You know what are you about? We
Right.
were talking just recently about give to gain, right? The International Women's Day theme. Yeah. So losing yourself starts with who am I and what do I have to give, and what is my purpose.
Right.
And without that, if you are not careful, particularly as a woman, or there are guys on this show, somebody who's wanting to grow professionally and whatever, you might experience something called the chameleon effect. And you probably know where I'm coming from, where you are everything to everybody, a people pleaser. So depending on where you are at, you will change. It is true that when you go to Rome, you should do what the Romans do, but it is more about adapting to certain situations and certain cultural nuances rather than just changing. But you see, you get this chameleon effect when you're not comfortable in your person, and you don't know who you are. So then you end up in a situation where you can go wherever. What are your values? What do you hold dear? What's important to you? What are your priorities? And it can lead to something called having a hollow trophy. So then on the outside, everybody knows that you are bling bling, you are here today, there tomorrow, you're traveling and what have you. But on the inside, which is your core, you are not even comfortable with your person. At that point in time, I would say that you have lost yourself. And for some people to staying silent, you have an opinion. You should air your opinion. And opinions might be different, but they're good because it is only when you gather different opinions from different spaces and different environments that you have the beauty of what might work for a community or a people or even a workplace. So it's crucial for us to be at the place where we're comfortable with who we are, first and foremost. Otherwise, honestly, people are busy trying to be themselves. You are busy trying to be what everybody wants you to be. And guess what happens in the end? You burn out. You burn out because you're working so hard to make everybody and everything happy. And you also, in losing yourself, you tend to compromise on the important things like your own hobbies, your network, your friends, your relationships. Because you are not this whole person anymore, right? You've changed into something else. And what I say is, we have to be careful so that we can make a difference between our persons and our careers.
Right.
Because some careers end. Then where are you, right? Yeah. So your person should carry your career. Your career shouldn't carry your person.
Right.
Is that making sense? So in a nutshell, that's what. But if there's anything that I want you to remember, just remember the lizard like
The
animal, the
chameleon.
chameleon. The chameleon.
Right.
Yes.
Jessica, I'm sure you still want to add up.
Oh, just a little bit. I just wanted to say that losing yourself simply means that living short of your standards, living
Right.
short of your values, living short of what vision or brand you hold
Right.
for yourself. So, if I am someone who likes to dress up, look good, and then all of a sudden, because of probably all the stress of combining family life and um, work and all that, I start, I forget to gloss my lips, my hair is unkempt and everything. Like my friends are going to say, is everything all right with Jessica? Like Jessica Brami, who ye? You know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So losing yourself is just living below the brand you've carved for yourself or the value you stand for. And it comes in so many ways. Your emotional standards, who you are emotionally, psychologically, your outlook, like Joyce said, even your social life, sometimes you begin to withdraw from your friends, you begin to lose friends, you begin to, because you are just not yourself. So yeah.
Right. I think in the comment section
Yeah,
we have
okay.
George's asking. He says, "At what point do women begin to lose themselves professionally or personally?" I think a bit of that has been answered while trying to balance work and family. And then he says, "And what practical steps can help prevent that?" Or even let's look at a professional who has actually lost themselves now. What are the practical steps that they can um, take to ensure that they are on track, balancing themselves and their professional life and their personal lives?
Okay, I
Jessica,
mean, oh, okay. I was
I
going
think
to,
Joyce should take that one, and then
I know, yeah,
I'll go.
we'll do
I
this
was
together.
trying to
We'll do
side
this
with
together.
Joyce
So,
because she mentioned
yeah,
earlier she wanted you to go first next.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
I
But this
didn't,
one, it looks
I,
like the anointing fell on her. She wanted to say something right after you asked the question. So, Joyce,
yeah,
please go ahead.
it's fine. I mean, you can liken this. You know, when you go to a function and you sit at the back table, and then you are called last to go to the table, and then they'll tell you this is finished, and so on and so forth. I'm always like, why don't they start from the back sometimes, and sometimes from the middle, or sometimes from the
Yes.
front?
So
Are
that
you
the
with me?
back people
I
can.
wanted us to have a situation where she also gets the opportunity to go first. I'm
Yeah,
so much
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
inclusion. That's why I said that. But this is a good question, because at the end of the day, you want to walk away and figure out whether you've lost yourself or not, or you are about to. And what I'll say first and foremost is that you have to be really intentional about your life. You have to define your priorities. Some things are not negotiable for me. So figure out what your non-negotiables are, and actively invest in other things other than work. Because of all
Right.
you're doing and it's work, 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 work. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist. If a staff member was here, they would tell you that I like things done properly and almost perfectly. Yeah. And so it's interesting that I'm saying this. You do need to have a life. What are your hobbies? What is your network like outside of work? Okay, how are you giving even to society? If you're not doing any of those things, you probably are right at the border, right there, almost losing it. And this happens slowly. It's a slow fade. It doesn't happen as an event. So it should be an everyday thing to watch out, so you're not losing your person. And then also practically learn to say no. You've got 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Everybody has got exactly the same thing, right? Each time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else in your life.
Right.
I'm sitting on this show. I'm sitting on this show. We had a conversation before. This is 1 hour. It's a Sunday. I needed to get myself ready and sit in front of this. You have to count the cost of things and begin to say yes or no based on your own priorities. If you are not doing that, you might be experiencing the slow fade and not even know that it's happening to you. And then also, I highly recommend mentorship. Mentorship is important because it helps you to know whether am I really balancing things okay or not, or am I just being too laid back? And sometimes you need someone else in the space to speak a little bit of wisdom into you, just to help you to like balance things out properly. Because the thing about being your own person too is that sometimes you just live in your little box, right? And you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. So those are some of the practical things that I suggest.
Super. Are you there?
I think we lost there.
Um, I don't know if I should add my 2 cents or we should wait for her to come, then I I talk.
I mean, perhaps you can go on. I feel like we're still live, so.
Okay. Okay. So just to touch on what you said, I agree. I totally agree that you, as a person, you need to have your priorities. Personally, I'm someone who likes to have quality me time. So it works for me. Like I have some small spots within the day that I know that I'm having peace and quiet and enjoying something. I like milky tea a lot. So very early in the morning, I know that if I get my tea, I'm listening to a good sermon or something short, or I'm reading a verse or something to calm me down before the day starts. Because once the day starts, it's go, 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 go. And then you close. When you come home, it's also another level of go, go, go. So plan properly, prioritize, and have, like you said, hobbies. I totally agree with that. Once in a while, I hang out with some friends from school, and it's good. My mom would say human medicine. It's good. It's healthy. Do things that you love, and then I think at work too, we need to create boundaries. I remember my boss once saying that, oh, when you are a leader, when you are in top management, your work actually starts when everyone's work has ended, like, or when everyone has closed. And in my head, I'm like, what? When everyone's work has ended, my work, fine. I get where he was coming from, but it's 5 p.m. I've given my due, and it's okay. I should not feel guilty for closing at that time and going home to other things. So I feel like there's the need for some forms of boundary so that you can be able to give your 100% within the time given here. And then also when you get home, you give your 100%. Sometimes that guilt of, oh, maybe my colleagues are staying on, meanwhile school has closed and you have to pick your child up. I know not everyone is in that situation as I am, but I'm speaking from my own like realities here. And then so basically the boundaries and then hobbies, and then we need to prioritize what makes you happy, what grounds you as a person, and engage, have a balance of such stuff. Yeah. Super, we lost you. Were you listening to us?
I got lost. I got off at a point. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I was having a
sorry.
bit of
Welcome
challenge
back.
with my.
Well, we're
Thank you
happy to
so
have you
much.
back.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. I see Georgie says thanks for the submission. Um, and then I also see Abina. All right, Abina, thank you for joining us. Josephine, thank you for watching. And Rita, thank you. We are so glad to have you. I'd like to highlight a few events that Sedat will be having in a few months and even within this month, and then we'll come back to the conversation. Right. On the 30th of April, we have the Sedat HR conference holding. This is the Takoradi edition, and the theme for this edition is authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. You want to make sure that you do not miss this conversation. It's going to be Kwame Afre, Felicia Opoku Felice. We also have we have Honorable Joseph Nelson, and that's the keynote speaker. And we also have a special guest. Our special guest, that's Nana Kobina Nketia the Fifth. He's the Oman Hinin of Isikado traditional area and president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. So you can imagine it's a full house, but a very packed
conversation that we are going to be having, and you want to make sure that you do not miss this, the link is going to be posted on the comment section area. So you make sure you click on it and you register. You can also share the link on your various platforms to have others who are interested in this conversation to register right away. We have a few trainings coming up this March, which is going to be displayed on the screen. That's building a competitive grading system and salary structure. It's a 3-day training holding on March 18th to the 20th, and it's at a fee of 3,600 Ghana cedis. If you're interested, you make sure you register. The link has been posted, and also do all to share on various platforms to have others sign up for the training. And we have a training on HR analytics that is going to hold in April, the 8th to 10th of April. That's also at a fee of 3,600 Ghana cedis. The link has been posted on the comment section area. Make sure you register and do well to share to on various platforms to have others sign up for the trainings. Right. So back to our conversation. It's been insightful so far, and it's getting hotter. Right. Okay. So back to our conversation. I would want for both of you to share top three mindset shifts that you think has really enabled you from just surviving in your roles, and then that has enabled you to actually thrive both in your career and your personal life. Top three mindset shifts. Yeah. Okay. So top three.
Hmm.
If you want to give us top five, we don't mind. Okay, I actually wrote two down, but let's see. So the first mindset shift is to tell myself I'm not a superwoman. I'm not a superwoman. I know
Mhm.
that may sound negative, but being a superwoman means getting everything right and pleasing everyone, saving everyone. I think Joyce cited an example where you like the chameleon effect, where you are fixing everybody's problems and then you are forgetting yours.
So,
Okay, so the first mindset shift is I'm not a superwoman, so I will do my best. I will do my best, but I cannot do it all. And when you realize that you cannot do it all, it helps you to practice delegation and asking for help. Practice delegation and asking for help. Delegate when you can, and then ask for help when it is too much. The truth is that, and then the second point I wrote here is that not, something must give. At every point in time, you can do so much, and yet so much is being also taken from you, or so much is being expected from you. So you realize that something would have to be sacrificed. Now, what you need to do is that take charge and plan what needs to be sacrificed. Okay. And like I said, for example, if you have the opportunity to delegate, you delegate. If you have the opportunity to pay your way out of it, pay your way out of it. Let me use a very practical example on the home front first. For example, um, and let me use myself as an example. For example, I'm currently alone with my daughter here. There is chores, there is work, there is school. Like I said, I love to learn, so I'm currently doing a bit of learning too, and all that. At a point in time, you cannot have all the time to be doing chores. So if you can pay someone to do it for you, you have to get that assistance. If you cannot spend all the time hand washing, then you need to get a washing machine. Like these are the very practical things you need to add to it. Like some things are no longer luxuries, they are actually necessities. So ask for help. If you have to pay for some form of assistance, pay for it. And I think so that is it. So one, the mindset shift is that I'm not a superwoman. Number two, something must give. So plan what gives and have control over it, and then ask for help. Yes, because you cannot do it all alone. Super, are you there? Your video is off.
I'm here with you.
Okay, all right. So, baby Joyce,
Can you
can
hear me? Can you see me?
hear
We
you.
can see you now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
Joyce,
mean
we'll
about
have your top three as well.
yes about mindsets. I read a book by somebody called Carol Dweck, The New Psychology of Success, and if you get a hold of it, please read it. It talks about two kinds of mindsets: the fixed mindset and then the growth mindset. So everything that Jessica has said sits with a growth mindset.
Right.
The fixed mindset is closed in. It's the one that says, I'm not good in math. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to get the promotion. Are you with
Right.
me?
Mm.
This, that, and one typical example is you do a piece of work and then you get negative feedback for it. Okay. I always say to my staff members, it is the work, it's not you. The
Mm.
whole of you is not a negative experience. Let's concentrate on the work. So I always say split yourself into two.
Mm.
Focus your mind on the work and leave your person out of it. Because otherwise, by the time you've dealt with how somebody doesn't like you because they said all this, the person with the growth mindset would have run off with the wisdom that they can take out of the criticism. And
Right.
this is very common in our system. Everything becomes so personal to the point where we can't even deal with the issue. And when that happens, you actually leave the issue and you go after something else that has nothing to do with what is at stake.
Mm.
So the two main mindset is what I would want to leave our listeners: the fixed mindset and the growth one. The growth one is more open, is willing to try, because research shows that if you try something so many times, you become really, really good at it. And it's not because you even have the natural inclination for it, it's simply because you had the discipline to keep hacking at it until it worked. So we are all, and thank God for that, fearfully and wonderfully made. And we each have the capacity to become the very best of something that we never dreamt that we can become. So that's the growth mindset. So for the growth mindset, it allows me to see my life as an orchestra and I'm the conductor. You know how they raise their hand and the tenors lift their voices and then they slow one down somewhere so that one is up and the other is down. So because that's how it is, you're not ever going to get it. Mind you, I'm a perfectionist, so it's like everything should work. I have
Mm.
to be on time. I need to like make sure that the food is ready at this time and this I need to finish the report right now. I've gone through all that and I've found that some days you have to spend time doing certain things and other days you have to slow down on some things, and within all that still look at your own priorities, look after your health and what have you. And that's what I call a growth mindset. For me, there are no regrets and failures. And I've been through that where I'm like, oh, I wish I had done it like this, right? Or like that. But then we are so human. You forget that if you had done it like that, maybe other things that stayed the same would have moved. And you don't even know that. But you're sitting and assuming that, oh, if only I had done it like this, then it would have been like that. Assuming that everything else would have stayed the same. So I don't have regrets and I don't have failures. I only have lessons.
Right.
And it's not that some things were not great, but it's just an opportunity for me to learn from
Right.
my own experiences. And that again is, a growth mindset. And the other growth mindset point that I would want to raise is I do not want to postpone my joy.
Hmm.
I have the big goal. I have the big goal, right? And I'm
Right.
working towards it. It's like climbing a ladder. So
Hmm.
long as I have gone half a step or one step, I am making progress, and that's good enough. And if I happen to slip a little bit, it's still okay. It's all part of it. But if I'm going to wait until I get that big dream and then say, yes, I have reached, I won't have enough energy to carry on. And sometimes we do that, especially women. You beat yourself so hard. You have to love yourself a little bit and, enjoy the journey. The thing is in the journey, it's not in the destination. This is one of the things about setting goals. Goals are amazing and you should set them. But you have to remember that every step that you take towards that goal should be celebrated.
Right.
Because it's like I'm not there yet. I haven't gotten that qualification yet. So then your miserable self. I'm gone. I'm having a party with the half a step or whatever I was able to do. And like Jessica said, my growth mindset also allows me to recruit what I call lieutenants. She mentioned the washing machine. I'm not buying a stove with 4 burners. My stoves always have 5 or 6 burners because I'm cooking anything and everything at the same time.
And
It's
you
more
see,
expensive. It's more expensive, but that's fine. If I need to have an outdoor kitchen with something in there, I'm doing that as well. I'm recruiting, if it's family members, and just I know you've done that because you asked for help. I'm not some King Kong superwoman. You name it. I can do the super things, but I'm going to do it and be unafraid to ask for help. I might look a little vulnerable, but that's fine. I'm human because life is quite unpredictable, and you have to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
I had a very dear friend, like, would go out and shop, and I look at something and I'm like, this thing is quite expensive. I'll buy it. I'll buy it in future. And you speak tree? Do you all understand? You
yeah,
know
no,
what
we
he
understand.
said? Well, that's in any. And she was
Anyway,
right. And when because that is like the next minute, right? It's like tomorrow. And tomorrow we pray and hope and trust God. We say it is assured because of Christ. I'm a Christian, and I'm sharing from that perspective. But enjoy this moment. Enjoy this moment. I was telling you about my mom. I'd go to a room and we'll sing some. She's Presbyterian. We'll sing some songs, and I'm enjoying every minute. I could look at it and say, "Oh my God, now I've got my mom with me. So much work. Sometimes I can't even travel. I need to get some help for her and all." I'm making the most of the moment because things will shift. I hope this helps to throw some light
right.
on different mindsets.
Amazing. I still have a lot of questions, but I'm looking at the time.
Yeah.
It looks like I have to pick like one, two.
Yeah.
Okay. Jessica. Okay, Jessica will do this. What could you or what would you want to tell your younger self?
Okay.
Um, yeah, one thing about balancing life and career. What would
Okay.
that be? Just one thing to your
Okay.
younger self.
Okay. So I would tell my younger self that growth comes with increased responsibilities.
Okay.
There's this thing we say at work that the reward for diligent work is more work. So growth comes with increased responsibility. So always be prepared, always embrace challenges, always have an open mind, and take care of yourself. That's what I would take care of yourself whilst taking charge of the responsibilities that come with growth.
Okay. Madam Joyce, so yours would be to young women in particular, right? What I know you've shared these mindsets that we should have, but for young women, what are those specifics that they should start off with now?
Okay. I would say aim for the highest. The reason why I say that is, listen, even if you aim for something just a notch higher than you will still need energy and you still need effort. So if I'm going to put the energy and effort in it, I'm just going as high as I can. Huh? It's, I mean, and I'll tell you this: if you run an SME, it's a smaller company. You still have to interview people. You still have to, ask people to go. You still have to pay people. If you can and you can scale up, you really should, because it's the same processes but multiplied, and you can always get help for that to happen. So go to the highest level possible, and if you don't hit the sky, you will fall on the treetops, and that alone that alone is good enough. The other thing I will say too is check your network. Check your network. Intentionally go into spaces where you can give something and also gain something. I'm a member of the Executive Women Network, and it's just a group of women, an organization for women who are either entrepreneurs or they work in public spaces, or they work in institutions, private institutions, and they are all C-suite women. Either they own their business or they're right at the top of their game, and what have you. That network is so important to me. I can get to a space where other people are like me, or we think alike, even though we come from different industries. That network helps me to grow. It helps me to think outside the box even more. So look purposefully for the kind of network that will help you hit the ceiling and be beyond. And don't apologize for your success and for wanting to grow, because women do that a lot. Like, give yourself permission to have a life. Yes, it's fun. It can be, and intentionality is about looking at a situation and slapping some things onto it to make it fun. I can give you one example. For instance, if I'm traveling for business and my husband is available, I would go with it, and then we would slip in an extra day or two. Are you with me? I'm already there booking some, some tour or something. So yes, I got sent for work, but I'll pay for the extra night or two. Are you with me? So that I can, and then I take it. I take it on my bucket list to say, okay, I've been here, I've done that. Are you with me? So it's that high level of intentionality, and I'm not saying to always be perfect. But just having that at the back of your mind kind of spices up life a little bit, and it makes things, work together better, because you have this fast-paced life, and if you are not careful, it'll all be work and work and work and work. But you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you are having all the fun that you can along the way, because there will be challenges. You want to aim low, there will be challenges there. So when the challenges come, at least I've gone somewhere. Anyway, so that's it from me.
I take this one personally. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Jessica. It's been such an insightful conversation. I'm not sure we have any more questions from our audience, but thank you to everyone who has joined us today. Make sure you share the link to have others watch this episode. It's been very insightful. You're watching us for the first time and you wonder, why are we talking women? Because SEDAT is still celebrating amazing women all around the world, right? Thank you so much, Madam Joyce and Jessica. I don't know if you want to give last words again, because it feels like everyone just wrapped up.
I think I just want to say thank you for having us. Particularly, thank you for helping me meet Joyce. I have learned so much from her, even from our first conversation. And right now, I have my notebook. I was taking down points, so it's been insightful. Yeah, that's just what I want to say. Thank you.
for the opportunity.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you. Sedat is glad to have you. Madam Joyce.
Be true to yourself and be unafraid of how high you can go. The world is your stage, so take it on.
Right. Thank you so much. Once again, this is the Sedat HR Digest brought to you by Sedat Consult Limited, your trusted HR partner. If you are looking out for services in terms of training and development, you can reach out to us. HR support and advisory and outsourcing, talent acquisition and management, staff outsourcing, compensation and benefits management, employee engagement, payroll outsourcing, recruitment and executive search, or you need assistance with event management, ushering services, reach out to Sedat Consult Limited, your trusted HR partner. Right. Once again, we have our upcoming conference, the Sedat HR Digest, coming up on the 30th of April. You want to make sure that you register for this now. We also have a training on HR analytics and a training on building a competitive grading system and salary structure, which holds on the 18th of March to the 20th of March, and that of the HR analytics holds on the 8th of April to 10th April. Make sure you register. The links, registration links have been posted on the screen. Make sure you click on them and then you register. Thank you once again for joining this episode where we've had a very insightful conversation on balancing career and family without losing yourself as a professional. If you just joined us, you can just wait and then re-watch the session. Thank you for joining us and see you on our next episode. That's Sunday, 4 p.m. Thank you for joining us.
The Sedat HR Conference 2026 is here. Western Region, are you ready? Join us on Thursday, 26th March 2026 at the prestigious Western Serene Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi for the 5th edition of the Sedat HR Conference. This year's theme, authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. Hear from seasoned industry leaders including Felicia Opoku-Felicia, Head of HR and Administration, Taka Ghana, Kwame Afre, HR Manager, Talu Ghana Limited, and Mami Ekia Gazi, Managing Partner, 565 Consulting. Keynote address by the Western Regional Minister, Honorable Joseph Nelson, and our special guest of honor, Nana Kobena Nketia V, Oman Hinin of Isikado, traditional area and president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Are you a CEO, HR professional, business owner, marketing or branding executive, corporate communication executive, or corporate leader? Then this conference is for you. Registration is open. In-person participation, 1,550 Ghana cedis. Virtual participation, 1,250 Ghana cedis. To register, visit HR Conference at sedatconsultlimited.com or call 0591405555. Transform your workplace, strengthen your people strategy, and lead with impact. The Sedat HR Conference 2026 is brought to you by Sedat Consult Limited in partnership with Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Good News FM, Cambridge College of Excellence, Revia, My Health Co, HR Network Africa, and SHRP. Limited seats are available. Register today. See you there.